Welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at AI and jobs.
Okay.
You're particularly interested in
Yeah.
the potential for AI-driven unemployment.
Right.
And you've given us some reports and articles. So we're going to be looking at all this data
hmm
and seeing if we can kind of make an educated guess about the future based on what we're seeing.
I love that.
And we're mainly going to be using the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs Report 2025
Okay.
as our main source
Yeah. Yeah.
for this deep dive.
That's a great report.
Yeah.
And it's really helpful because it looks not just at AI in isolation,
Okay.
but it considers a whole range of things that are impacting the jobs market.
Okay.
Like technological advancements, obviously, but also things like climate change,
Oh, wow.
demographic shifts, geopolitics.
Oh, wow. That's really comprehensive.
Yeah. So it's a very comprehensive look at the future of work.
So where should we start with this?
Well, let's start with just the overall picture that it paints of the global jobs landscape. By 2030, it projects a net increase of 78 million jobs globally.
78 million new jobs.
Yeah,
That doesn't sound too bad.
doesn't sound like mass unemployment.
No.
But the catch is this net increase is actually the result of a lot of churn underneath.
What do you mean?
So we're talking about 170 million jobs being created and 92 million jobs being destroyed.
Oh, wow. So it's like a complete reshuffling.
Exactly.
Wow.
Like a lot of change happening, even if the net number looks positive.
Yeah, that's a lot more reassuring when you look at it that way.
And it's important to understand what's driving this reshuffling.
Okay.
And that's where AI comes in. So the report identifies AI as a major player in this job transformation.
So AI is both creating and destroying jobs.
That's right. But it suggests that it's actually going to be the largest net job displacer,
Really?
eliminating an estimated 5 million jobs by 2030.
Wow.
And interestingly, this is more jobs than any other technological trend.
Really? Even more than robots?
Yeah, even more than
Well,
robots.
why is that?
It's because AI, unlike robots, can be applied to a wider range of tasks, including cognitive ones.
Yeah,
So it can potentially automate jobs that were previously considered safe from automation.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So what kind of jobs are we talking about here? Give me some examples of like the fastest growing and the fastest declining.
Sure. So the fastest growing jobs are heavily concentrated in technology and data fields.
Okay.
So we're talking about big data specialists, fintech engineers, AI and machine learning specialists.
So if you want job security, learn to code.
It's a valuable skill set to have, but it's not the only path.
Okay.
The report also emphasizes the importance of human skills, like creative thinking, problem solving, communication, and collaboration.
Right. Because those are the things AI can't do.
Exactly.
Okay, so those are the growing ones. What about the declining ones?
So the report lists things like cashiers, ticket clerks,
Okay.
admin assistants, printing workers.
So like more routine-based jobs.
Yeah, often involve routine tasks that can be easily automated by technology.
So it's not just like blue-collar jobs at risk.
No, it's white-collar jobs, too,
Yeah.
if they involve repetitive tasks.
Okay.
And it's important to remember that this decline isn't just due to automation.
Oh, right.
There are other factors like demographic changes and economic trends
Nah.
also playing a role.
Right. Okay. So that's like the big picture of job creation and destruction. But let's actually try and get down to like
Yeah.
the question that you're really interested in, which is how many people could potentially become unemployed because of AI?
Okay.
So that's where we need to make an educated guess.
Let's see what we can find. So the report states that 40% of employers are planning to reduce their workforce,
Okay.
where AI can automate tasks.
Okay, so 40% are planning to shrink because of AI. And if we consider the global workforce is like 3.5 billion people,
Uh-huh.
that's potentially 1.4 billion jobs
That's right.
at risk.
Now, it's important to emphasize that this is a very rough estimate
Of course, yeah.
based on a single data point.
There are a lot of other factors.
Absolutely. There's a lot of nuance that it doesn't capture. For instance, the pace of AI adoption will vary widely by industry and country.
Yeah.
Some sectors will automate much faster than others. Some countries are more prepared for this shift than others.
Right.
Plus, this estimate doesn't consider the new jobs that AI will inevitably create.
Oh, so it's not all doom and gloom.
Right. The report still forecasts overall job growth.
Okay. So there is some potential for job creation
Yes.
amidst this disruption.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about all the reskilling and upskilling efforts
That's true.
that are being made to mitigate job losses.
Okay, it sounds like we need to dive a little deeper into that.
Absolutely. And that brings us to another really interesting aspect of this report, the skills of the future. The skills that will be most valuable in this new AI-driven world, they're evolving rapidly.
So what are these like skills of the future? And how can we make sure that we're not left behind?
Well, the report highlights a few key areas. Um, as you might expect, technological skills related to AI and big data are going to be incredibly important.
Yeah, that makes sense. But what about for people who are not like coders?
Yeah, right.
Like what skills are going to be important for people in non-tech roles?
Even if you're not the one building the AI, understanding how it works
Right.
and how to use it effectively is going to be crucial for pretty much every job.
So like we need AI literacy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like the new baseline for participating in the modern workforce.
Okay.
And then there's cybersecurity, which is becoming even more important
Right.
as our world becomes increasingly digital and interconnected.
Because with all this AI and automation handling sensitive information, we need people who can protect that,
Right.
from hackers and cyber threats and stuff.
Exactly. But it's not all about technical skills.
Okay.
The report also emphasizes the importance of what we might call human skills.
Okay.
Things like creative thinking, problem solving, communication, and collaboration.
Which AI can't do.
Exactly.
Right.
And then there's this idea of resilience and flexibility.
Yep.
The world is changing so rapidly
Yeah.
that being able to adapt, learn new things,
Mm-hmm.
pivot your career path is going to be crucial.
So lifelong learning is not just a concept anymore. It's a necessity.
It is a necessity. In fact, the report actually lists curiosity and lifelong learning as one of the top skills
Yeah.
expected to grow in importance. But here's something interesting. For the first time, the report suggests that physical skills are actually expected to decline in importance
Yeah.
for the global workforce.
That's a huge shift.
It is.
It makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Like, with more automation taking over physical tasks
Yeah.
in manufacturing and things.
Yeah, in industries like manufacturing and logistics, this really underscores the point that we're entering a new era of work,
Mm-hmm.
one that's heavily shaped by technology
Yeah.
and requires a different set of skills to thrive.
Okay, so let's say someone's listening to this, right, A?
Mhm.
And they're like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I need to develop new skills.
Yeah.
But how do I actually do that? Like the report talks about reskilling and upskilling.
Yeah, and the need for reskilling is huge. The report estimates that 59 out of every 100 workers will need training by 2030.
That's more than half.
That's more than half the global workforce.
That's a lot of people going back to school.
It is. And while employers are investing more in training,
Right.
there's still a gap. The report suggests that around 11 out of those 59 workers who need training are unlikely to receive it from their employers.
Oh, so they're at risk.
Yeah, putting them at risk in this evolving job market.
So it's not just about companies providing training. Individuals also need to take initiative.
Exactly. Be proactive
Yeah.
about their own skill development.
There are a lot of resources out there.
There are, like online courses, boot camps, industry workshops.
So people can kind of become self-made experts
Absolutely.
in these future skills.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of networking.
Right.
Connecting with people in fields you're interested in, learning from their experiences, staying informed about emerging trends can be invaluable.
So we've painted a pretty detailed picture of this potential future with both the challenges and the opportunities. And it's a lot to process, but I think it's important to reiterate the key takeaway for our listener. AI is definitely going to reshape the global workforce. And while it brings the potential for a lot of new jobs, there's also a significant risk of job displacement as well.
Yeah.
So the question isn't if AI is going to change the world of work, it's how.
That's right.
And a lot of that how hinges on our actions today.
Absolutely.
So what does all this mean for our listeners?
Yeah.
What can they do to prepare for this AI-powered future?
I think the first thing is just to remember that knowledge is power.
Okay.
Knowing what's coming allows you to prepare and adapt.
Okay.
So think of it as having a sneak peek at the job market of the future.
So instead of being caught off guard,
Yeah.
you can start developing those skills now.
Exactly.
Before it's too late.
Before it's too late.
Yeah.
And don't wait for your employer to provide training. Take charge of your own professional development. Explore online courses. Consider boot camps, workshops, join industry groups, experiment with new technologies.
So embrace that curiosity and lifelong learning.
Absolutely. It's more important now than ever before.
Yeah. And don't forget about networking.
Yes.
Connect with people in those fields that you're interested in.
Yeah.
Learn from their experiences. Go to events. Stay informed.
Yeah. Networking can open doors you never even knew existed.
That's great advice. Any final thoughts to leave our listener with as they ponder their AI future?
I think the Future of Jobs report that we've been talking about is a really fantastic starting point
Yeah.
for anyone who wants to delve deeper into this topic.
Okay.
So I encourage you to explore the data and projections yourself. Think critically about what it means for your own career path, and take proactive steps to shape your future in this rapidly changing world of work.
It's not something that happens to us.
Remember, the future is not something that just happens to us.
I
It's
know.
something we create.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI and the future of work.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be back soon with another fascinating exploration of the forces shaping our world. Until then, stay curious, keep learning.
Don't be afraid to challenge assumptions.
Exactly. See you next time.